Hi, everyone, and welcome to Shufti's first Partner Spotlight session. In these sessions, we facilitate conversations with Shufti partners from around the world with the intent of making sure that we highlight the importance of collaboration, sharing knowledge, and driving our industry forward. My name is Nelly Swamnube. I am the Senior Product Marketing Manager at Shufti. And today I'm joined by Dany Mawas, CEO of Fortress Co Connect, as well as our very own Tom Gadsden, VP of Product at Shufti. Welcome, gentlemen, and thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you, Nizwa.
Thank you.
Great stuff. So before we go any further, I would like to give you guys an opportunity to introduce yourselves to our community. Dany, since you are our guest, you can go first.
Sure. So my name is Dany Mawas. I'm the CEO of Fortress Co Connect. I have more than 15 years of experience in the FMCFD industry. You can recognize the French accent. That's because I'm French. I have extensive experience when it comes down to the European market and African market. And recently, we decided to partner up with one global and multi-regulated brand called ATFX, especially ATFX Connect. That is a provider, a liquidity provider to the likes of retail brokerages, asset managers, and so on and so forth. So what does Fortress do pretty much is we provide technology and liquidity to companies and individuals looking to start their own brokerages, their own asset manager, crypto exchanges, and so on and so forth. So we provide everything that you need from A to Z in order to start your own shop.
Great stuff, Dany. Pleasure to have you with us today.
Okay.
I'm going to hand it over to Tom. Tom, if you can introduce yourself and our business Shufti, that would be great.
Yeah, great. So, hi, I'm Tom Gadsden. I'm VP of Product here at Shufti. I've been here since the start of the year. Really exciting space running our product and design teams and help bringing our solutions to life across the identity space. I've worked in identity and fraud for nearly 10 years across 3 different businesses and have roughly 20 years experience in the financial and payments technology market. It's been great to move here to Shufti. We're a hugely global business. So we really differentiate ourselves on our global reach, our AI-powered solutions, and our customer impact. So we work on a monthly basis with documents from over 200 countries and help some of the world's leading global businesses keep themselves safe and support their regulatory needs across that. We own our own technology stack, unusually, so we're able to bring our own solutions together, and that helps us be really agile and help fit market need and move quickly to make sure our clients keep themselves safe. And in a dynamic world of deepfakes and AI, we're able to react to those threats very quickly. So really exciting times and really great to be here. So thanks, Nelly.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, Tom. So, for the purposes of today's discussion, I really want us to delve into detail around the recently announced partnership between Shufti and Fortress Co Connect. So, this partnership sees Shufti's full suite of KYC and AML solutions being integrated to the Fortress Co Connect platform. And what this will enable is obviously Fortress Co Connect customers the opportunity to be able to experience world-class KYC and AML solutions. Dany, this is for you. Can you explain why this type of integration matters and the strategic value that you believe this will bring to your customers?
Sure. Good question. Very good questions. So just to keep it simple. So when we started Fortress Core, I kept seeing the same problem. All of our white label clients had great business plans, great business model, but they were actually losing customers from the get-go, like during the onboarding process, pretty much. Like their KYC process, I would say, it was too long, it was too expensive, it required way too many people, too many steps, and just to keep it simple, it just couldn't handle all of these global markets that our white label clients were trying to tap into, like way too many different requirements per region, per country, and so on and so forth. And Shufti changed all of that completely. Now clients and users, so let's say if we think of a broker, their traders are now able to identify themselves under, let's say, 5 seconds with a 99% accuracy across more than 200 countries. And that's, one, it's lightning fast, and two, it's a game changer. So yeah, I mean, what truly matters is that Shufti now allows our clients to spend more time on innovation, more time on, growing their business instead of thinking, compliance infrastructures and compliance requirements and so on and so forth. So now, whenever a white label clients wants to launch into a new market, they can be confident that they have all of the right solutions, especially thanks to Shufti on the KYC side of things. And they know for a fact that all of their onboarding journeys and KYC processes already meet, their, all of the different regulatory requirements that they will have to face whenever they are tapping into a new market. And I think that's the real strategic value here, is that thanks to Shufti again, our clients are able to turn compliance from, call it, a barrier into an opportunity. And again, like the real, the real value added service here is that Shufti remove all of the stress and headaches away from our white label clients so that they can focus on growing their business. And at the end of the day, that's why they want to use Fortress Core, is because they know for a fact that with Fortress Core, they are able to start a new operation or tap into a new market with the less with the less headaches possible. Fortress Core handles all of that, and again, thanks to this partnership with Shufti, our clients are now in good hands. Now, in terms of your second question, why do we think that Shufti is the right partner, or whether or not I can give you some reason why we decided to partner up with Shufti on an exclusive basis. By the way, we only work with Shufti. I will mention three things. The first one is that Shufti was one super easy to implement and super easy to connect with our banking system. I mean, the Shufti API is really easy to use. The guys behind the API, they really know their stuff, and they have been very helpful with our clients and with ourselves. And that's something, by the way, that is not granted. Sometimes, whenever you want to work with a specific partner, either for tech or for, again, regulatory system and so on and so forth, the partner is going to be here to sell the solution, but not really here to implement it. And Shufti has been very helpful. The second one, I would say, it's definitely the pricing. The pricing apply is way more competitive than any other providers that I came across, and including other big names that you might have in mind. I can guarantee you this. And again, like Shufti has this KYC journey builder that your clients can use in order to customize each onboarding journey depending of the country or the region that you want to tap into. And that builder is really top tier. I mean, all of the different KYC options and solutions offered by Shufti are all of the latest one that you might think of. And that's, again, like in terms of the user experience, it's on par, super easy to use. But I would say what really sealed it, like what really convinced me to work exclusively with Shufti, was actually the team. So one thing that you need to realize is that, of course, Shufti is made of, compliance experts.
Yes.
But to me, it seems like, it seemed, let's say, and still the case, by the way, the guys are more entrepreneurs than just compliance experts. And what I mean by that is that the Shufti team truly understand, including support, they truly understand all of the frictions that our white label clients are facing especially during the onboarding. Because, at the end of the day, whenever you are running a broker or an asset manager or a crypto exchange or a prop firm, the key is the acquisition of the clients. So the more friction you're gonna have, the more friction you're gonna impose, let's say, on your clients to get onboarded on your system, the less likely you're gonna get funded clients. The less likely your client's gonna stick with you because, again, the onboarding is gonna be way too complicated. And the Shefty team understand that. And I can guarantee you that all of them are doing their utmost to remove as many friction as possible so that you as a brand can thrive and grow in no time. And for me, that was most definitely like how can I say, the trigger that convinced me to work with Shefty.
Great stuff. Awesome stuff. A lot of key themes from your response, Dany, but really refreshing to hear that the ultimate decision maker or contributor was the team. I think that's great feedback for everyone that's been involved in putting this partnership together. I think what I want to do is shift gears a bit to Tom. So, Tom, obviously, Dany has spoken a lot about turning compliance into opportunity. He's spoken about, frictionless experiences for customers during the onboarding process. I really want to delve into this offering that we have from a KYC and AML perspective as Shafti, and how this offering is really suited for what we label as small to medium enterprises. Please, can you take me through that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really great to hear Danny's words on the team and the product. And I'm certainly proud and impressed with what I've found here and what we've been able to take on. So coming back to our SME customers, I think Danny's points around the scalability of the solution is really important. So we can start small in a competitive way, but actually we can use all of that journey builder piece to bring things together. So your ability to land into Shufti and complete a KYC check within 30 seconds is almost unparalleled. But actually, your ability to use that really high quality UI, UX, and our APIs to scale that up is phenomenal. So three things really. I think we really focus on. So we really focus ourselves on that, ensuring a strong customer experience, because actually, like it or not, the KYC process, the onboarding process is one of the first things that any regulated business has to show their customers. And joining Shifty, it was a really great thing to see how focused the team was across the piece and ensuring a great customer experience, high pass rates, and minimizing friction. And having worked in this industry a while, that's not always the case, right? People can become diverted by other factors and forget about the customer in the journey. And that's not something I see at Shifty. I think secondly, though, actually with that journey builder and with the adaptability of the product, it's important to say that actually compliance requirements can be managed. So companies' own policies or local regulators is all there. And that can all be managed within the solution really readily. And pulling that together in a way that's intuitive as well. And then I think thirdly, fraud for small businesses can be incredibly damaging. Costs that can cost businesses that can't afford it a lot. And this is a very dynamic environment. So the ability to keep customers safe, keep the bad customers out in a world where we're seeing far more attacks and far more sophisticated and higher velocity attacks is really important. And the fact that we have got our own technology, we've got our own ML teams, and we can really quickly adapt to changing attack vectors is something I think that's critical both for our largest customers, but also our smallest customers who don't necessarily have the depth of fraud teams or cybersecurity teams to be able to take all of that burden on themselves.
I love that, Tom. And I think a lot of what you said also lends itself to the next question, which was around scalability. So just so we can continue with the conversation. So Danny, I obviously am aware that you're based in South Africa, and I know that recently Fortress Co Connect launched its European entity. Talk to me about how you make sure that whatever you guys do is suited for multiple jurisdictions, ensuring that you understand the different needs of customers based on those jurisdictions and are able to really give value to them, yeah, across the globe.
Sure, another good question. I mean, look, it's all about having, the right, call it strategic partners and partners locally, so that the guys are already there, your partners are already there, they can see the regulation, call it changing, and they're already ready when the change happen. So that's where you get the local expertise, right? But it's not like everyone can operate like that. It's not like everyone can again like operate like Fortress Core by opening an entity in Europe, and tomorrow we want to go to Asia. We might target the like of Japan and so on and so forth. It's not that easy, right? But the thing is like now through Shufti, again, or white label clients inherit all of this compliance expertise in more than 200 countries, simply because, again, you guys are already ready. You have all of the, like Tom mentioned, you have all of these AML experts working on all of these changes, on a weekly basis. So thanks to Shufti, again, all of our white label clients get the right compliance expertise in more than 200 countries without having to build it, without having to collect it themselves. But again, like what's very interesting, it's more like my own analysis. But what's very interesting is seeing how verification methods vary per market. I mean, some regions or country they prefer document verifications over biometrics, and some others it's only biometrics. Like for instance, in the UAE, it's mainly biometrics. And you can get KYC simply just with your ID card, right? It's like you put your ID into the reader and poof, you are like fully verified. They know who you are, where you stay, and so on and so forth. So again, like this kind of intelligence helps our clients or white label clients optimizing their onboarding journey for each market. So it's not just it's not really just meeting the right regulatory requirements now. It's more about improving your conversion rate by working with the right partners. And again, like I think that Shafty is doing a great job at this. So yeah, it's just to cut it short and answer to your question. I think it's all about being proactive. And again, adjusting or being able to adjust our white label clients onboarding journeys according to the local requirements. And for that, I mean, Shafty definitely has our back. So yeah, again, I'm very grateful for this partnership.
Great stuff. That's absolutely fantastic. And I think, you mentioned a couple of key points in your description. One of them, obviously, centering around the importance of really isolating the right strategic partners, especially as you scale up and as you enter new jurisdictions. And I think that conversation from Danny really leans in well to the next question that I wanted to pose to Tom. And the question to you, Tom, is so Shafti obviously has got this very robust partnership program, and Fortress Co Connect is one of the partners in this program. I just want to understand, in your own words, how important do you think these partnership programs are for us as Shafti as we also accelerate our expansion, and as we continue to deliver truly global solutions as well as products?
Yeah, great question. I mean, I think our partners program is critical, right? In my last two roles, including Shufti, I've worked extensively with partners, and it's always been actually one of the most rewarding ways I think we've seen to grow the business. That partners typically have got great knowledge of their industry. They themselves are exposed to lots of end clients, and so they really know the business they're in, the requirements they've got, and they're passionate kind of advocates of their industries and space, and so can actually really help us achieve kind of great fit as partners and help drive our business. So, both as a growth vector, but also kind of critically as a way of learning and developing our solutions, I think partners are really critical. I think expanding on that and perhaps going back to some of what Dany was saying, Fortress Core really has got the platform, and so for their customers, they make it much easier. We're obviously passionate advocates of great customer experience, and so where we can take our products, easily glue them in through the Shufti API and SDKs, then that becomes a much easier way to maintain that really good customer experience.
Great stuff.
Someone is hoovering in the background, so I might just go and ask for.
No, sounds good. All good. So while we wait for Tom to rejoin our conversation, Dany, I just want to hear from you around the two customers that have already tried or tested out using Shafty's solution. Have they shared any form of feedback with you on how the experience has been, etc., that you would be willing to share with us on this forum?
Yeah, yes, of course. So remember, so Fortress Core brings all of these white label clients. So we focus on helping our clients to build their own systems. Call it trading systems. So the two clients that we onboarded are very much, how can I say, are very much focus on simplifying the onboarding journey of their clients, so that once again they can get as many clients as possible, and therefore improving as much as possible their conversion rate. And the feedback so far has been great. I guess that's why I'm part of this forum right now, is because the solution works very well. And regardless of the kind of product that our clients are selling, both of our white label clients are very, very happy with the Shufti, call it onboarding journeys. So each of these clients have their very specific requirements, to onboard the client. Some of them are very much focused on the onboarding the client with their ID and facial recognition and so on and so forth. And the other one is a little bit more meticulous. They want, they're asking for the ID, front and back, they're asking for the proof of address and so on and so forth. But all in all, what I'm trying to say here is like both journeys work perfectly. Everything is integrated into their own CRM and into their own client portal. So the end user's feedback is also very good. And yeah, they haven't been complaining 1 second about losing out on clients and so on and so forth, because again, Shufti makes it very easy for the end user. I've used it so many times because I've been also helping the guys to set up their own KYC journeys and so on and so forth. And yeah, it's great. It's the latest tech you might think of.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, Dany. Tom, I'm sure it's always very refreshing to hear great feedback, not just from the partner itself, but from the end users as well. I'm interested to hear, how you are making sure, as the person or the custodian responsible for our product development area, that you continue to build on these great experiences and you truly build out, global solutions as well as products.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something that Shifty's really passionate about, right? Like it's got a global origins as a business, and I think we really believe in making sure that people around the globe, both in country and across the world, can all get robust access to solutions and get through to the tools and things they need and want. So, some things we do to make sure that happens and we continue to work on. So I think, as I mentioned, we support documents from over 200 countries, and we do that virtually every day, right? So without putting the knife in some of our peers too much, that's certainly the case if you go and talk to Gartner and other industry analysts. They'll say actually lots of our peers will say that they can work internationally, but the reality is if you lift the lid, they're really often working in just a handful of countries with a handful of documents. And they might do that very well, but if you're a global business, actually you want someone who's been in Japan or been in Brazil or worked in South Africa, because we've learned how the local documents work. We've worked out what the intricacies are, and we've driven up those pass rates from, perhaps 70-80% to 95-99%, so that all of the customers that you manage to get in the top of the funnel and land on your webpage actually come and transact with you and succeed, and see the success of your business. Yeah, beyond that, actually, we've got real kind of technological leadership in our ability to handle different alphabets and work multilingually. So, things that other solutions may not have thought about, how do you work with different alphabets? Actually, we've solved, and we make sure that we bring in all of those other parts of the world. Thirdly, we integrate with nearly 100 government and other authoritative sources. So that helps you align with local regulations. It helps you make sure that you're not exposed to synthetic fraud, and it can provide other ways to onboard customers. And more recently, we're working to expand what we do in terms of the kind of digital identity acceptance. And so, routes where you can onboard without the consumer necessarily having to have a document to hand. I think then if we pull back a bit, if you go into our platform, we've kind of recently added to the analytics we make available to clients. So it's now much easier to see where customers are coming into the funnel, where if there is dropout, where that is, and kind of, and often we hear feedback from clients that IDV solutions can be a bit of a black box. They know they had 100 customers land, and they know that 70 came out the bottom. But what happened to 30? You did all the marketing, you did all the right things. What happened to them? And actually, I think we do a better job of making sure that 100 do pass through the funnel, but actually we give you much better insight on, if people decided early in the journey that actually this wasn't for them, well, you get the feedback on that, but also the reassurance that there aren't blockers in a given country, or in a given flow. So really helping to improve the transparency of that. And then I think very lastly, going back to the team, we have that team around the globe. We have kind of language skills, we have time zone alignment, all the sort of things that actually helps make sure that when you're trying to onboard, that happens quickly and succinctly.
Great stuff. Thank you for all that insight, Tom. And I can obviously echo a lot of what you've said, having been with this organization for a couple of months already. And that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. A special thank you to Tom and Dany for this insightful conversation. I think as I've been listening to this conversation, one of the things that have stuck out for me is the African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And this is exactly what this partnership is demonstrating for us. So just in terms of how you'll be able to access this discussion, it will be available on Shufti's YouTube channel as well as our website. And don't forget to follow Shufti on LinkedIn as well as Fortress Core on LinkedIn for regular updates about what's happening in both organizations. Until next time, thank you for watching. My name is
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dany. Thank you, Nelly.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.